morning to everybody. Nice to hear your voices. So you had a nice weekend. What weekend can there be with COVID around, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I hope they have updated the list in the app, college app. Let me just check. Yeah, Arun Kumar, you've been added to the list. Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am.
Who's this? Somebody said good
Shubham
morning.
Gautam, ma'am.
Shubham Gautam. Yeah. Good morning. We have 20.
Anchal Parmar, ma'am.
Anchal Parmar also. Yeah. We have 26 right now. And
Good morning, ma'am.
yeah, I have not taken the attendance, so don't worry about the attendance. Don't worry. I'll be taking it now. I was just checking whether the list has been updated. The list has been updated to 40 students. We have now 40 in the class, and here we have 25. So can I just mute myself because I want to arrange the Okay, I think we are 26 people right now. So maybe we can start with the class.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll just, I think you can unmute yourself and say yes when I call your name so that I mark your attendance. All right. And then you can mute yourself back again if you like. But then if you unmute yourself and remain unmuted also, there's no problem as long as you don't have background noises in the, disturbing.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. 401, that's Gurkirat Kaur. Pratibha Chauhan.
Yes, ma'am.
Pratibha is there. Palak,
Present, ma'am.
Gurnihar, Farida.
Present, ma'am.
Farida is present. Shaina Chauhan,
Yes, ma'am.
Jasween Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Simran Sethi,
Present, ma'am.
Kajal Bisht,
Present, ma'am.
Navjot Singh,
Present, ma'am.
Arjun Sharma, Lovepreet Khan,
Present, ma'am.
Gunjan Sharma, Sheetal Pun, Anchal Sharma, Anchal Parmar. Anchal Sharma is there? Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. And Parmar is also there. Fine. Bharti Malik.
Yes, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Okay. Harjot Kaur. Yeah, I think she's there. Gurkirat is also coming. Yeah. Then Ramandeep Kaur,
Present, ma'am.
Arindam Vyas. This person has a problem. He every day he sends me some message that I could not attend because I have a problem with Zoom. If nobody else is having a problem with either Google or Zoom, we'll keep alternating because I'm doing Zoom because some days I want to record the class. All right, and I'm doing Zoom today. Tomorrow I'll do Google Meet. So it's going to be like this for some time. Nikita,
Present, ma'am.
Nitasha, Rakshanda. I think Rakshanda is there. Jagriti.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah. Then Deepti Saharan. Deepti Saharan. Laishram. Not there. Shubham Gautam is there. Jagmeet Singh.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah. Jagmeet Singh. Kanwarpal Singh. Ayushi Thakur.
Present, ma'am.
Present. Kajal Rana. Not there. Parveen Kumari is there. I admitted her. Manpreet Singh. Is Manpreet Singh there? Gaurav Tomar. Mankirat Kaur.
Ma'am, present.
Yeah. Nidhi Arya.
Present, ma'am.
Sonali Tiwari.
Present, ma'am.
Lavanya.
Present, ma'am.
Ishmeet Kaur.
Present, ma'am.
Arun Kumar. So right now we have 26 here, but then it says 28 here. I don't know who are the two extra ones who've not been marked present here.
Ma'am, 418.
418. Harjot Kaur. Yeah, I marked you
Yes,
present.
ma'am.
I marked you present.
Okay.
Ma'am
Bharti.
401.
401. Gurkirat Kaur. Yeah, marked present now. Who else has not been marked? Gurnihar is there.
Ma'am, 409.
I'll just call out who I have marked absent here. All right, then you can know. 404 is here, or maybe somebody is not listed. Last minute admission, maybe somebody is not listed. I'm just calling out the ones who are absent according to me. Gurnihar, then Arjun Sharma, then Gunjan Sharma, Sheetal Pun, then Arindam Vyas, Nitasha, Deepti Saharan, Laishram, Jagmeet Singh Virk, Kanwarpal Singh, Kajal Rana, Manpreet Singh, Gaurav Tomar. That's it. Anyone who has joined and the list has probably not been updated after that. Who all are here? I don't want any outsider here, please, because I want only your class students. Gunjan Sharma is being admitted now. Where is Gunjan Sharma? What's your roll number? Gunjan Sharma. Okay, added. Gunjan Sharma is added. So that makes it 28. But we have 29 on Zoom. Is that including me? I think 29 makes it me also. Fine. Okay. All right. So how many of you watched those videos that I sent you? Anyone who's watched the 2 videos, the links that I sent? No answer. So nobody has, that means. All right. So what did we discuss the last time? Can anybody just update me on what was the last thing we talked about on Kanthapura? You know, the word, the name Kanthapura is a little, it's a kind of debated. I heard the other day that some people call it Kanthapura. Kanthapura. Probably that is the more probable name because Kanthapura sounds more South Indian because it's meant to be a South Indian village, and Kanthapura probably is the more correct pronunciation, but it's always been called Kanthapura in the English terms. We have 4 chats here. Who are the ones chatting? Kajal Bisht is present. Have I marked you present or no? Kajal Rana is not present. I think we are fine. Can we have a yes somewhere that you're hearing me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. All right, the last time I think we talked about was we described the village Kanthapura, the geographical landscape of Kanthapura, the winding routes through the jungles, the creaking carts carrying merchandise. We introduced the character called Murthy, who was a most popular, very well-mannered, soft-speaking, genteel kind of a boy. And it was almost as if all the ladies who symbolize, the narrator, the Achakka, who is supposed to, kind of stand for the rest of the feminine population of the village, they seem to be all completely, smitten by this boy Murthy, who is comes across as the most ideal kind of a boy, having every possible quality in him. He is not only well endowed. He has he's not a very rich guy, but then he has enough to sustain himself. He has a widow mother. He has his sisters married off. To speak of him as the most eligible bachelor of the village would not be an over exaggeration. But this boy has taken to some strange ways, which they are a little, confused about, because they hear that he has become a Gandhi man. He goes around, propagating a certain philosophy, a certain ideology to everybody and anybody in the village, which means that he goes into those areas which is kind of forbidden, prohibited for people of high caste. He goes into the pariah streets, he goes into the low caste Shudra streets. And the narrator says that, okay, if he does, he does. I mean, if he's doing it, they're so forgiving of anything that is, done by Murthy, because they love him so much. Maybe he has a reason for doing such things. It is all this Gandhigiri that is going on. And if he does it, it's so what if he does it, because by the time we die, we would have closed our eyes by the time this entire world is cursed for bringing about this amalgamation of castes. For them, for these illiterate women of the Brahmin caste who've always been homebound, for them to think differently, for them to go out of the box and try to imagine a world without castes, a world in which intercaste marriages take place, where a low caste person is allowed to touch the holy scriptures, is something which is unthinkable. But they are flexible enough, they are adaptable enough, they're not rigid. If somebody like Murthy is advocating for this kind of an ideology, obviously he will have a reason good enough for that. So who are we to interfere with it? Anyway, we will be long dead by the time this actually comes about. So we would have closed our eyes by then. So they are more forgiving and more, okay with the situation, because here Murthy has emerged as the main character, the protagonist of the story. He goes around, I talked about how they discovered a sunken shivling in one of the backyards, and which they used to kind of set up um, a small temple, a makeshift temple, which they created a few, some mud walls around that shivling, and they covered it with some palm leaves, etc. And they made it a kind of a community place where all of them would gather in order to read, in order to hear the holy scriptures being read by somebody as devout and holy and pious as Rangama's father, who was Ramakrishnaya, an old man who could have never done anything wrong in his life, and he had a very nice bell metal kind of a voice, and to hear the scriptures being read by him and being explained by him was a pleasure which was too good to be true. So they started this practice of meeting every day after their household chores were over, after they had cooked the meals for the day and given their children food to eat and sent them off to school. These women would quickly wind up their work and rush to that place and sit down there and listen to these, this devout kind of religious discourse happening there. Now, if you, if you try to pinpoint, if you try to put your finger to a certain strategizing that was happening by Murthy and his mates, the congressmen, Murthy was probably working upon the emotions and the sentiments of these illiterate, very godly, very innocent people of the village who had not known the world beyond the confines of Kantapura. If they could be, kind of brought into the fold of freedom struggle, brought into the rigors that was expected of a person fighting for freedom from the British rule, how idealistic it would be. So Murthy's you could call it a very manipulative strategizing, because he brings in the women, he brings in the innocent villagers to a community kind of a place where holy scriptures are discussed, and they decide to celebrate every festival, followed by nice food, nice prasad. It's not food like not having a party with beer and chicken tandoori. It's going to be a very nice langar sort of a thing where you are offered simple rice and dal, and somebody is going to fund that meal for everybody. And when it all ended, it was almost as if these people were disappointed that it's all over. And Murthy cashed in on that point. When people had become very used to living a certain way of life for a month following the the day of Shankar Jayanti and Shankar Vijay, when it went on for a month, everybody having a party, like in Dashera, during Dashera they have these 10-day festivals. I don't think anyone is Bengali here, but otherwise, even I'm not Bengali, but I know that the celebrations that happen during Durga Puja in Bengal, they have, nobody cooks at home, they all come out, they gather together at the pandal, and every day is a feast day, eating all kinds of things and dancing and singing, and it's a period of enjoyment. And that's the time when Mother Durga comes home to her father's home, and that's kind of celebrated everywhere. So this was the kind of atmosphere which began with the linga, the Shiva linga being consecrated, with followed by lots of feasts and lot of reading of scriptures, etc. But when it ended, the narrator says that we felt as if there was nothing for us to do. You kind of felt purposeless. And that was the time when Murthy approaches the women and tells them that why don't we make this a regular feature of the village? Why don't we celebrate every festival? We have the Ganpati Divas, we have the Janamashtami, we have the Ram Navami. So for every festival, let's follow it up by a month of bhajans and discourses and feasting, and it will be a nice thing. But for that, we will need some contribution, monetary contribution. Now, when money comes into focus, everybody gets a little reluctant because God knows how much he's going to ask for. So the narrator says, when Murthy asked me, Achaka, we will need just about some amount of money for this, because then we can call in Harikatha men. Harikatha men are supposed to be people, performers who are artists who come and stage performances, some kind of plays and dramas. Like when we have I think during the Ram Navami, I think that during the Dashera we have this Ram Leela happening in the middle of the night in every sector here in Chandigarh. So similarly, these Harikatha men would come from the cities. They would be hired, of course, they would come on payment, but the payment was not so much. It would just cost you about 10 rupees, and you have to pay for their travel, and we could have Harikathas. Harikatha is what? Harikatha is a story about the Lord, story about God, and anything to do with God was very appealing to these people. So, but even then, when she heard that she would have to contribute, she said, look, I can offer you a coconut, maybe I can offer you some sugar candy. Sugar candy is probably something like your gur or shakkar. I can offer a coconut, I can give you camphor. Camphor is kapoor. But money is, money is always, we are always hard up for money. He says, how much will it cost? No, about 1 rupee. 1 rupee, not very enthusiastically, but they agree to it only because it is Murthy who is asking for it. And the purpose seemed to be very, very nice. It's not as if he even says that this money that we will have, we'll collect, and whatever is left over, we will use it for all godly activities. So, and they kind of believe Murthy, because Murthy can never do anything wrong. Murthy can never be duplicitous. Murthy can never deceive them. So she agrees to this. So then begins in the village the look, if you get logged out, I have taken a complete session of 1 hour from Zoom. If you get logged out, please log in again with the same password. This password and the Zoom link will remain the same. Okay, do you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just
will.
log in again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the day I want to record it, I'll do Zoom. The tomorrow maybe we'll do Google again. Okay. So so she agreed for this, and then a very subtle way of training these minds was taking place, actually, because there was these sessions that they had with people. She talks about the Harikatha men. She talks about somebody called Belur Narihari Shastri. She talks about the heads of the Hindu sect who they have seen performing. Not only are they well read in the scriptures, not only have they been awarded by the Maharaja of Mysore with a royal shawl and a scroll of honor, but they also are very good performers. They talk about the gods, they dance, they sing in praise of the Lord. And this starts the process of inviting Harikatha men. And the most symbolic of the Harikatha men is somebody called Jayaram Char. Jayaram Char was, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you just to keep myself, on track, because I must not forget what I'm supposed to be saying. Okay, I think you can see this. Okay, so she yeah, Jayaram Char is a very famous Harikatha man who they invite, and the day that he invites actually becomes the turning point for the village of Kanthapura, because the day he comes, he narrates to them the story, 2 stories actually. He narrates 2 stories to them, and look at the allegorical significance of the stories that he tells to them. He talks about the story of Lord Shiva and Parvati. Lord Shiva and Parvati, the marriage of Shiva and Parvati was a very, very, you know, if you read up the story, it was a very, very dramatic kind of a story where Shiva was kind of won Parvati over for himself. Here he tries to talk about Parvati, who is in penance, who is praying to attain Shiva for herself, as the country Bharat. Remember that it is the allegorical significance is Parvati is India and Swaraj is Lord Shiva. Why? Lord Shiva is three-eyed and Swaraj is also three-eyed. How? Swaraj is, what is Swaraj? What does Swaraj mean? Can somebody tell me what is Swaraj? What is Swaraj? What is Swaraj? Simple.
Independence.
Not independence. Swaraj is self-rule. Swaraj. That means we are asking for the right to rule ourselves. That was one of the demands of the Indians during freedom struggle. Okay. So the concept of freedom struggle is being very subtly introduced into this Harikatha event that is taking place. He talks about Swaraj as Lord Shiva and he talks about the country India as Parvati. Both of them want each other. All right. What does Swaraj stand for? The three-eyed man, Lord Shiva. Swaraj also stands for self-purification. Swaraj stands for Hindu-Muslim unity. Swaraj stands for Khadi. You know, the three basic teachings, the three basic principles of Swaraj is that we should be self-purified. What does self-purification mean? Self-purification would mean kind of acquiring upon yourself an ideology of righteousness. You know, it is only when you distance yourself from greed, from avarice, from temptation, from wanting for yourselves, you will never be freed from the tentacles of dominance of other people. Gandhi's ideology was being passed to the villages through this three-pronged philosophy of Swaraj. He is trying to teach the villagers, Jayaram Char, who is supposed to symbolize the voice of the freedom struggle movement. He's trying to tell these innocent villagers, totally unaware, totally uninformed about what is happening outside them. They really do not know how is the British rule leeching upon them? How is it extracting their core from them? They do not know. They have to be informed. They're living in ignorance. And this is just the beginning. This is just a subtle way of starting to train their minds to question British rule. Self-purification, Hindu-Muslim unity. Remember, Swaraj meant if you want self-rule, you have to be united. United we stand, divided we fall. If we have these, why else? I told you about British rule. When the colonials came in, the East India Company, India was in a state of complete disarray. There was nobody was united. Everybody was doing their own thing. There was a lot of conspiracy, a lot of backbiting happening, treacherous activities happening. And that's the easiest time for you to break through if an outsider comes. So the concept of Hindu-Muslim unity was very important for self-rule. If you want independence, you have to be united, because at that time there was no partition. There was no in India and Pakistan at that time. So it was very important for people to realize that we are all together. We are all part of one nation. We all should be standing together. It's very important to the most uninitiated, to the most illiterate, to the most ignorant person to understand this message of the freedom movement. And the third was Khadar. Khadar was Khadi. The point of talking about Khadi is to inform the illiterate people how much it is costing them to not spin their own yarn. What was happening? We were producers of cotton, and the cotton was being taken away in bales to UK, to England, and that same cotton that we produce was being brought back as very fine, refined cloth. And we are probably paying double the price to buy it and adorn ourselves. So there was so much of, duplicity involved in this. We are not realizing when we see, this is the training that was happening. When Jayaram Char talks about Swaraj and Lord Shiva and Lord Goddess Parvati, there is this old lady who goes for the talk. She, Narsama or somebody, I don't remember the name. But when she goes, she says, no, look, I don't want to listen to, when I go to a temple to listen to Hari Katha, I want to hear stories about my God and my goddesses. I don't want to hear about this Gandhism and all that. But the day she listens to this talk, she is the one who is most emotionally provoked by the talk, because she's the one who has tears coursing down her cheeks when she comes back from the talk, because she has been so much, overcome by emotions. The performance is so heart touching. It makes its mark so beautifully that even a woman who has never seen anything other than her gods and goddesses, never seen anything beyond her existence within Kantapura, she is also made to wonder about what is happening. Why is it necessary for us to self-purify ourselves? Why is it necessary for us to, raise ourselves above temptations, to not to succumb to impurities, to think straight, to live a life of dignity? You can relate it. This kind of teaching is not only relevant for the freedom struggle. This kind of teaching is relevant universally, even today. If you want to live, what has happened during COVID? If I might be going a little, I'm digressing like the narrator of the story, because that is one of the points that we'll discuss eventually, because the Puranic style of telling stories is a lot of digression and a lot of exaggeration happening. Now, when we talk about COVID, what has COVID made us realize? That we can do with very little, isn't it? Can somebody say yes, so that I know you've not gone off to sleep?
Yes, ma'am.